What's up, friends? Welcome. It's time to elevate and thrive. And on today's show, myself, Barry Napier, and my co-host, Dr. Angela Yeagley,
Hello.
are going to get into a topic that you absolutely need to know about, and that is the power of NAD.
Absolutely. Love it. Super, super energy molecule.
Yeah, I like to call it, the super hyper energy molecule.
It definitely makes it extra special with the hyper put on there.
Yeah, it's not
Like
just
Star Trek level.
super, it's super hyper energy level, right? I mean, yeah, exactly like warp speed. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things that we have to offer people.
It's incredible. And, it's as an energy support molecule or treatment, it's actually been around for a while. And now that, say, if you look it up, you're looking up NAD treatments or IV NAD, you're going to see that a lot of places and that it's been popular for a good amount of time, especially you'll see a lot of celebrity circles really love it. It's super popular in Hollywood. Now, just because something's popular in Hollywood doesn't necessarily mean it's like that great, but this is that great.
You'll see this also show up in different kind of sports therapies as well. So you'll see this with athletics and high-level athletics as part of their ongoing maintenance, recovery, kind of optimization strategies. So any of those super, super high-end clinics that really cater to elite athletes and athletic performance, you're going to see NAD as part of the ongoing regime that these people get because it is tremendous benefits from a physical energy output and a repair and recovery standpoint.
Absolutely. And I think later I'd love for you to talk about just kind of, since in your world, with working out and building muscle, right? Like how you feel after you have it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. It's not quite the super soldier serum from the Marvel movies. Like it won't quite turn you into Captain America, but close. So let's talk a little bit about what is NAD. What is it? How does it work from an energy standpoint? What is the interactions, and maybe just that really simplified version so that we have a sense of what we're talking about when we're talking about NAD IV therapy.
Absolutely. So NAD is a version of vitamin B3, basically. So B3 is niacin. And so most people go, oh no, niacin. If you've ever taken niacin, you get really flushed from it. Sometimes it can make people feel a little uncomfortable. NAD is extremely different. So it is a completely different the molecule looks completely different, even though technically it is still that particular B vitamin. So NAD also is one of the molecules that is made in the mitochondria in the cell that gives us energy. So most people may have remember mitochondria.
Let's go back to high school.
I was going to say, yeah. They look like little, they almost look like little creatures.
Like little amoebas.
They look like amoebas.
Little round, cute little amoeba creature. Yeah. They live inside your cells.
They're inside your cells, and
you could name them if you want to, but you'd have to name a lot of
them. Hundreds of thousands. And so what they do, their purpose is actually making the energy for our cells. And so that's the combination. There's a little bit of a dance between the energy molecule NAD and ATP. And Barry was saying that nobody really knows what ATP is, but I'm gonna say I say that people probably have at least seen it on energy bottles. Now you're gonna see it everywhere on the energy bottles. But NAD helps to push ATP, and it goes back and forth. So there's a lot of healing in that cycle because whenever the mitochondria have more energy, they can do all the things that they're, to push the cell that it needs to do. And so one of those things is like clearing things out of the cell that shouldn't be there.
Debris, waste, toxins, etc.
Absolutely.
Byproduct to cellular metabolism. All that stuff can clog cells.
Yes. Yeah.
Clear it out.
And also contributes to the damage of the cell and aging, right? So that's why NAD also is known as like an anti-aging molecule because of its ability to really push the cell to heal, right? So we've got the healing, we have regeneration. And then kind of the neat thing is that it really it's one of those things, and I think this is probably why we both love it so much, is that when you have it, when it's put into your body, there's a noticeable difference in the energy production, right? It's like, oh wow. Like
for sure.
Yeah.
I think if you were to summarize kind of your great overview of what NAD looks like, I mean, part of looking at your health is looking at your cellular health, right? So if you take your big whole human body, your whole experience, how you feel on a day-to-day, how your systems are all functioning. They're all very complex, interactive systems. But if you boil it all down and just say, hey, if we're just looking at it at the cellular level, how are your cells functioning? How do we support optimization and healing at the cellular level? How do we give your cells more energy, right? Because think of that's a force multiplier. When you have hundreds of millions of cells, right, that are all functioning better, that equates to you feeling better, health, all that good stuff. This is kind of addressing that issue, right? This is kind of health at the cellular level. And when we look at it through that perspective, it's really cool because that's not how we normally think about things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most people think I'm going to take this and then it's good for me. You're like, I'm eating my kale, it's good for me. All those things are fantastic. But yeah, this really gets in deeper. And something that I just want to note that, we do make this naturally, but as we get older, we definitely have a decline in the levels that we make, and it gets stressed and depleted by, stressful things in our environment, by toxins, by not sleeping, by poor food,
living life,
by,
just
living your life, right?
is going to naturally deplete your NAD.
Yes, it's
so
well put. Yes, just living.
There's
That's all you need to do.
no way around it. It's going to get depleted, part of the game. And this is a way, so that's why it's really essential and really powerful. And you mentioned how you feel when you're on NAD, when you're getting an NAD treatment. And I can absolutely concur. And there's all kinds of great treatments. And different people, of course, have different sensitivities to certain treatments. Some people are really sensitive and they can get a B shot and they can feel really hyped up and energized. Me personally, I don't know. I'd probably have to get like 10 B shots in a row to feel the B shot effect. I don't feel anything from a B shot, but from an NAD treatment, I do feel it, and I feel it in a big way, and it's amazing. I call it a whoosh. It's like, whoa, I'm getting the whoosh right now. So obviously, if we're seeing this decrease in NAD as we age, and then compounded by stress, environmental toxins, poor lifestyle, diet, all that kind of stuff, what are some of the benefits then to restoring NAD as we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do NAD orally. It's not going to have like as big of an impact, So probably a lot of what I would be talking about here is going to be maybe using it orally and doing it IV, right? And doing a series of them, or an IV treatment series of them. So the benefits of doing that, and this is actually, it's been studied now over a long period of time, because it was initially used in recovery of addiction, specifically alcohol addiction, and then heavy detoxing. And so the benefits were, at that point started to be shown in how it can work on repairing a lot of different areas of the body. And so we're talking a lot about energy. And of course, if, we see a lot of people with chronic fatigue here, it's really common. A lot of times chronic fatigue does have a lot of components to it that you need to address, like the diet, like movement, like adjusting the thyroid. But the way that I would think about this is that we are going to use this to work on every level, right? We're going to use this to prop up all the cells in the different areas of the body. So whatever we're working towards, or whatever we're working on, like say here we see, a lot of chronic conditions like chronic mono,
things like mold toxicity,
right?
Metal-like toxicity,
absolutely,
or like long-term hormonal imbalance, or maybe gut dysregulation.
Yes,
stuff that's been in existence for maybe years and years, right? It's had like a toll on the overall system.
Yeah,
that is beyond just the one specific thing, right? It's long-term conditions tend to have impacts now on multiple systems.
Yes,
right. So it creates a very complex healing environment, a scenario where you're trying to get everything back in its right working order. NAD can be a powerful way to help with all of that healing at the same time as we have some very targeted methodology and treatments that might focus on very specific aspects.
Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever condition or thing that we've identified that is actually, depleting you and making you feel off or tired or or not optimal, right? So we usually do use this in combination with other types of therapies, and then it's going to improve. Basically, it's going to make all of our therapies and all of our approaches work a lot better. So, if we're thinking about, sometimes we are just working also on optimizing. Like sometimes we're using it as a treatment, just in addition to all the conditions we talked about. Sometimes we're using it for, we have people that, I would put you in this category, probably myself as well, for the most part, like have pretty good energy, right? Like we wouldn't diagnose ourselves with chronic fatigue. So in that situation, if you're in that place, the NAD will take you to like the next level, right? So then you notice a big difference. You're like, wow, this really moves me. And so that also goes in line with like that regenerative anti-aging approach of NAD, right? So in the research, again, because it's an energy molecule at the cellular level, we start seeing there's something called a telomere, and all of this is the tail of our DNA, and it gets shorter as we age. Because as the cells replicate, part of the tail drops off. And so once that tail is gone, that's it, right? That's cell death. So NAD has been studied to be one of those things that can preserve the life of your telomere as well as extend it, which I think that's pretty dang cool, right? I mean, that is specifically, that's anti-aging, right? That is regeneration. It's like, that's awesome, right?
It's super awesome. And I think these therapies and some of these benefits really start to come into focus, I think, as you get into your later 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and 60s. Because let's face it, I mean, typically for many people in their 20s, their system's functioning pretty well then.
Pretty well for most of them.
A lot of people. And of course, I know there are people in their 20s who have really chronic conditions and issues. And but I'm just saying, generally speaking, it's later on when you start to really you're starting to feel run down. You're starting to feel the effects. You're starting to feel your age, right? Or maybe even feel older than your biological age. And you're feeling like you just don't have maybe the cognitive function, you have the energy level that you used to have, right? Things aren't working as well for your body, for your mind, and your life. And that's where I think, oh yeah, maybe you should be looking at having the NAD as a supportive mechanism to help you and figure out some of the other stuff that's going on as well. But the NAD is such a powerful therapy that hits all of these things. And I can really feel it for myself. You mentioned, working out and energy. And I absolutely, the day that I get NAD, that workout day is always phenomenal, as well as the next couple days. So if I was a competitive athlete, I would for sure be using NAD on game day or the day before game day to prime myself to be in like absolute peak shape condition, right? And have all my energy resources really supported, because it makes a huge difference.
Yes. And unfortunately, I haven't had that ability. I haven't had that chance yet to do that and go work out, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll definitely report back to everybody. A couple of things I just want to touch on that we maybe haven't quite mentioned. Say some very specific things. If you are currently struggling with addiction, this can be this is again with the original use of this, and can really significantly curb cravings. And then also because of, if you're going through detoxification, will really push that repair of your liver.
Absolutely. I mean, I think a part of the challenge there when you're in a spot where you're either abstaining or you're reducing or limiting, say, like alcohol, and whether you're in a program for that or whether you're going through a process yourself, and or sugar or what.
That's right. Things that cause that feel good.
Vibe, right? That crave vibe, where it's like there's a hunger inside of you for something or desire for something. That the NAD will satisfy that kind of hungry ghost feeling for a few days and help support your process to kind of get through maybe some of those rougher spots of that journey. So I would again say for sure my experience has been, when I'm getting the NAD and around that time, it just gives you a sense of maybe satisfaction or completion, like you're feeling kind of grounded and balanced, and you don't really feel that need for an external thing to complete you.
I love that.
Now, you can't, unfortunately, be hooked up to a NAD bag all the way. just walking around all day. I got my little NAD bag here. I just put my pouch in the morning, slow drips all day. Maybe you could do that. Maybe
You might be able to do that.
Device
or you could
come up with.
Absolutely. Okay.
Just slow drips you all day. So you're just like completely in this optimized, grounded state of I'm complete. I need nothing. I am alive in my own power. My see all with my all-knowing mind. Oh, there's a folder that let me move it with my supernatural, superhuman NAD enhanced strength. Oh wait, I haven't aged at all since I started my NAD pack.
Well, now see, this is brilliant. So now we have to edit this out. No, we can't tell the world, right? Yeah.
Someone will do this.
So if you can't get hooked to continually up to an NAD bag, I would say we can do a series where like you're here twice a week or, for a period of time, right? When we're really working
on how we like to do it too, right?
Yeah.
Super juice people.
Absolutely. Or 1 week, I would say for 8 to 10 weeks is like, okay, this is our focus. This is where we're going to make all the changes. Our NAD is really going to help us push that, right? And support you in that way and get your energy up and make you feel great.
Oh, it will be transformational. A 10-week NAD therapy that will be incredible.
Yeah. The other couple things I want to touch base on are it also has been studied for cognitive function, which means brain function, memory, clarity, focus, which I would say you definitely notice when you have it. But it is going on a deeper level because it is getting into the brain. And so for people who do have that concern, right? I mean, I definitely start seeing that in the 40s, 50s for sure, 60s. People go, I don't remember things as well as I used to, or I am actually now starting to forget words here and there. And I have to be like really pushed to go, what's the name of that? Or what's that person's name? So this can be a tool for us to really help your brain, turn that around, right? Give your brain resources so you get some of your cognitive ability back. And so also can be like other brain conditions, other neurological things like Parkinson's or MS, things like that. Dementia. Yeah, absolutely. Alzheimer's. I mean, Alzheimer's, absolutely. The concern many times, the issue, if you are already in a full-blown Alzheimer's state, it will help. I mean, there is some possibility, but we have probably missed our window.
This is, like many things, we're looking more at that preventative, more at that support, right? So we're not talking about this as a cure or as a fix or a miracle solution. I mean, it's a powerful tool, and it's best used in advance to really help put yourself into a better, healthier, more robust, resilient state that can fend off some of these issues from coming. Delay or deny them when they never show up, right?
And I do want to say, that said, I mean, you still, if you're already having these symptoms, right, your memory is changing, or you already have. That's
the time. I mean, those are the warning signs.
Absolutely.
Or you should be taking action.
You've been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, or you in the middle of, you've had MS for years, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of ready to take these. Yes, this is still a great time. Using that example, thinking about Alzheimer's for maybe an elderly person who is in the late stages, that, again, they can do it, but we're probably too late to turn things around. Now, the beginning, middle, and even at the end with a lot of these other conditions, right? Alzheimer's is just kind of special for now. I'm sure things might change in the future. That I've seen incredible turnarounds, and people like Dr. Terry Wall, who is an MD who had late stage MS, wheelchair bound, started doing all of these therapies, NAD, chelation, targeted physical therapy, cleanses, and she is up now walking, giving TED Talks. I mean, so I feel like the power of this type of medicine is incredible.
It is. And if you want to tap into it, or if there's something here that sounds interesting to you, would of course love to work with you and create a personalized plan. Like anything, it's best when this fits into a holistic approach to your health and well-being versus thinking of it more like a supplement that you're going to go get it off of Amazon, and you're going to pop a couple of NAD supplements and tabs with your 40 other semi-useless tabs. And, it's just not going to have the same effect, right? I'm not going to say there's zero benefit, but what we're talking about here is creating a holistic and powerful, personalized program that incorporates this, and maybe with some other therapies and some other lifestyle modifications or whatnot, that can really shift you into a new, more powerful, more healthy, and more vibrant place.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And if you're listening to this and you don't have that already, please come and see us. We would love to see you. We'd love to. Our first visit is an hour. We dive in. We want to know everything about your history, where you're at now, what you're taking, and then we start shifting all of that. We do a lot of extensive testing, and then we make, a really amazing plan for you.
We make the magic happen.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in. And if you want to check it out, jump online. You can find us at SageMedClinic.com, and you can book online as well. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.